Hello there, this is Cookies, and I've got turn 66 of MA Naba, and we do have some events going on, so let's go ahead and dive into those. So we did Voice of Apsu, got nothing. We did pick up another Gula, Shaitan, cast Tapestry of Dreams, which I believe is the scrying spell. We got our first Marid, which is really exciting. We got a second Shaitan, cast a couple of Dark Knowledges, did not find anything. Blood Hunting is popping off. And we do have a few battles this turn, so let's go ahead and get into those. So first up, we see Zan attacking Bellfields. So we've got a little ball of Vanarusian Berserkers. The hearse is way out in front, so that might be Zan trying to protect against attack career, but it also just might be a small scripting mistake. It's going to be real sad if this hearse dies first, but maybe he did the math. Oh, yeah, he might have done the math. So he's throwing his javelins to the Berserkers run in front just in time. Cool. Gosh, they're so killy. Alright, speed it up. Do they catch up? My Abyssians are kind of slow. Alright. So he loses 6 there, but does take out the PD. And we'll go ahead and cover his other fight with Balin. So he's storming a fort here. In terms of what's inside, is a large number of smolder ghosts. And he's got these Camazots here. Okay, so they have good morale. Alright. But against all of this probably is not enough, just because of all the mage support. Let's go ahead and see what Zan ends up casting, though. What are they just doing? They look mostly unscripted, and a few of these are normal Zots? Yeah. Alright. So Zan summoned some cool stuff here. He's got some of these long dead archers. And he's got a number of these chewed skin shifters in the center. So these are the berserkers for forcing their way through the gate. And these archers are for just putting decay on the back lines. Might be a little concerned with friendly fire, but they do have spirit sight, so they're not going to take precision malice down here. And he has a tremendous number of Zamays with Drake Fire. Each one also has 3 attacks, so they're pretty good. And they're cold-blooded, so they'll work great invading Balin. And then he has a kind of like a ball of sacreds and a ball of his more elite infantry, so the herdmen and the berserkers. Kind of sitting back here, just protecting his mage core. And I think we'll come back after the fight and we'll see what all he's casting here. But he's also even got a few Serpent Fiends here. So let's go ahead and see how this is going. Now these guys are not vulnerable to that, to the decay effect from the archers. See Wailing Winds go up. And Camazots have okay morale. It isn't, I think it's an MR check now. No, there's a morale check, but I think something changed recently, so I think the mages hold up a little bit better. Did they all rout? I was right as I said that. Routed. Not routed. So he does still have some undead leadership, but it looks like the Smolder Ghosts have all taken a horrendous, like with 19 morale, they're just running right off the bat. Want nothing to do with these Samays. Although they should be really good at fighting Zamaze. They're ethereal. They're immune to the Drake Fire. They have a Spectral Axe that does 24 damage. Even with a fair number of buffs on these Zamaze, they should be fairly good at fighting them. Those Zamaze will punch through the ethereal probably once per round with one of their attacks. But yeah, that's really disappointing to see. Alright, so this one's pretty much over. We'll speed it up a little bit, then we'll go see what the mages cast. Alright. Let's see, so this guy did Phoenix Power, Furious Warriors. That's I think it's AoE 3 or 6. +2 morale, +2 attack. Sermon of Courage, pretty good. Flame Flesh Army for, I think that's 5 fire resist. Makes sense. Anti-magic into Soul Slay for the Golem. This guy's Summon Earth Power, Marble Army for a big protection buff. And then some lower level Temper Armors, as opposed to like a Legions of Steel. We have some Body Ethereal into Communion. And, and the Communion's doing Will of the Fates. Alright, that's where all the Twist Fate came from that we saw on the Drakes. Let's see. Was it just the one master? It might have been. Okay. And we have some Group Luck, some Thunderstrike spam, Rush of Strength, good strength buff to put on those Zamaze, and some more Group Luck, Wailing Winds. It's going to be hard to see the rest of that script. And Mass Regen. So not Army of Regen just yet, but Mass Regen instead. Okay. So that's the AoE 20 version. Alright. So yeah, he's cleaning up the remainder of Balin's forces. Really unlucky for Balin that his Smolder Ghost took a morale check like that. We can probably... I don't know how it does the roll for a big squad like that, if it gets put in the log. Failed individual morale check. Interesting. Is affected by fear. Huh. Alright. So, Wailing Wind's coming in ham there to at least lower attrition. Because I do think he would have taken some attrition, even with Marble Army and Twist Fate. The Smolder Ghost Search is also fairly killy. Alright, and then we've got 3 battles between myself and Agartha, who I believe might now be played by Kirby, or is soon to be played by Kirby. And we just got 1 PD here at the moment. Phaonix having to sub out. Alright, here's our main army going up against a little bit of a PD dump here. This might gem bait me. Yeah, we're getting gem baited. Giant warriors going off. Divine channeling and water. Wailing Winds. So yeah, we'll clean that up. Well, I suppose we can watch it. I'll play it a little bit faster though. You can see here that they they kind of rush forward on the flanks and then they dive in. So, alright. And then scraw point. Let's see. We're getting pinged. There's just a little bit of PD here. Alright, then we got some gems. And we have a diseased unit. There's more luck in the world, but not for me. And yeah, one of our Hermit Sahirs died from disease, and we bought the Lost Legion. So the Lost Legion, just to kind of clear them out from the Merc pool for 8 gold, they're going to try and take out these Kalulu. We've got the siege here. We see a big Agarthan army here. It's not got a tremendous amount of mage support just yet. But we are going to jump on it. So we're going to go ahead and send it to dry heat. And we screw up this guy's script. So I had forgotten that I'd already done Ritual of Returning on this guy, so I don't need to do Returning, but I attempt to cast Vortex of Returning anyways, Returning, but for some reason I click Light of the Northern Star 3 times and don't realize. So I've got the worst of every world where I'm just wasting valuable pearls, and really I should have just done multiple earthquakes. And maybe I could have done significant damage to this army. So that is a colossal mistake. And it's not going to be my last one, unfortunately. I'm going to do a couple of mistakes here. But in terms of other stuff we're doing, so don't make mistakes like this, especially with your pretender. Double check. And so we're going to go ahead and make a Gossamer Veil. That's to, I think, just provide a glamour booster for combat, like a little bit cheaper one. We're going to go ahead and do Arouse Hunger, and that's to get some Patrol Chaff for blood hunting. And that we've kind of broken into Death 3. We're going to do a little bit of Dark Knowledge. And that Arouse Hunger might be coming down here to Silent Cavern. No, it's Tunnels of the Lost. Oh, am I raiding with it? Oh. Oh, am I attempting to cut his retreat route with that? Okay. Yeah, I don't know about that. But, okay. Our camels are moving in to help in the raiding game. We're site-searching fire here. You can see the problems we're having with our Dominion control because we're a noodle-shaped empire. And again, going back to the... I probably should have invaded Ballin in the mid-game, but I chose not to. So now regretting that choice, probably, since it seems like he's getting rolled over by Vanarus. We're going to go ahead and cast Raven Feast on 99, which I think is here. And you can see there's 800 corpses here, so it should be a good Death Gem haul. We're also doing Armor of Souls. So getting another blood booster, and we've got a few of those now. And all these blood boosters will really come in handy potentially later in the game if we want to do big summoning spells, or if we want to throw down multiple 3 red seconds in the same turn. So that's why we're accumulating these boosters now. We're also getting another Shaitan, doing a little bit of forging, including some dowsing rods. And I think that's a lot of it. Otherwise, we're continuing the blood hunt. We're still being very careful to keep the number of units in a province, so this is like 106 below the Vale Army threshold. So I'm pretty sure nobody can see what I'm doing, and no one has said anything about all my garnets yet. So we're up to, let's just show that. There we go. No one said anything yet about our 36 garnet sorceresses. And I'd like to keep that way for at least a few more turns. They probably suspect that I do have some blood economy, but they probably don't suspect that it's as big as it currently is. So I want to keep that secret for a little bit longer. Or at least the garnet part as long as possible. But how big the blood eco is also good to keep secret. And yeah, so we're planning that magic phase move with a horrendous script. I can't believe I submitted the turn with that. And then it was just really sloppy scripting. And then we're also sieging this fort right here. And to just kind of go over that again, because it's been a couple of weeks since I've recorded for this series. So I thought I'd go over the script a little bit again, but we do have Legions of Steel, got Divine Blessing, some Steel Slice Warriors, some more Steel Slice Warriors, Anti-Magic for MR, Fanaticism to keep morale up, Divine Channeling, so these guys can theoretically all smite if they so choose. I wanted to give them that option. And then hopefully on a communion, they can all soul slay as well. So maybe, hopefully that'll be an effective casting communion. In reality, though, what we've seen from Astral Mages in communion so far with the normal casting AI is they just cast Body Ethereal en masse. So that could be unfortunate. We did get this guy fixed up with Army Regen, so we'll have Regen. Oh, probably didn't need Gift of Flight. We're doing Soaring Army, so that's a scripting mistake. Here's Soaring Army. We have Dance of Ephemeral Swords. So, which I think is effective versus everything except the statues because they have Spirit Sight. I think that might see through false damage. And then we've got Wailing Winds to try and rout his mages, and we have Gift of the Furies for plus attack and morale, and Firefend. So, got a fair amount of stuff. We're going to go ahead and see if there's anyone inside this fort. It doesn't look like it, but we're going to check anyways. And somebody might magic phase in, so we're still going to try and corrupt here and see what we can get. And then we're also sending some gem mules up to catch up with the army in case we get gem baited again. And I think that's most of it for this turn. I think in other news, Pyrene's starting to gear up to invade Ulm. So Ulm's over here with these 3 thrones. You can see their cap here. And that's because Vanarus is tied down fighting, invading Abyssia to try and over Second Sun, which gives world pop kill. So he's working on that. He's also got a natural cult preference, so he's getting a big income debuff as long as Second Sun stays up. So he's gonna try and work through Balin. And I think that's a lot of it. So yeah, Asphodel and Man are still fighting. We're fighting Agartha. Vanarus and Abyssia are fighting. And Pyrene will soon invade Ulm because everyone else is fighting. So they see a window to also fight. And then that should be everyone at war, just about. So that'll be exciting, especially after so much peace. And yeah, I think that's it for this one. I guess I really should cover the throne picture again. So yeah, if Pyrene takes Ulm, they'll have 5 thrones, which does put them within striking distance of winning the game. At that point, they could try to take this one off Man, plus 1 from Vanarus. Alternatively, they could try to invade Vanarus and take 2 from Vanarus, or any of the ones underground that Vanarus has just taken or is about to take, like Stumble Down. So that's kind of the path to victory for Pyrene, where I think they need 7 thrones to win. So if they get these 5, then they just need 2 more. And Vanarus is picking up a similar path to victory. So they've got 2 thrones, I believe. Yeah, 2 thrones. They're working on picking up 2 more, so that'll put them at 4. If I struggle versus Agartha, they might sweep in and take Mile Deep, which would put them at 5, and then they would just need 2, which would probably come from Pyrene. Although they could try to blitz over and take them from this area. But I believe if Pyrene's war with Ulm goes well, that'll still be a war with Pyrene. And then there's potentially this throne that they could try to go for, but they'd have to fight through Asphodel, and then I'm assuming Pyrene and I would also intervene. So it's setting up for 2 quick wars, and then maybe a great final confrontation between the top 2 in this particular lobby, which is Pyrene and Vanarus, and we'll have to see how that goes. And then our role is potentially to play spoiler and try to prevent both of them from winning. So I don't know if maybe they'll make a secret pact where they both divide up Nabah and then fight their final war so that they don't get interfered with, but we'll have to see. But otherwise, I'm pretty content to keep fighting Agartha. Seems like a fun war. And it lets Man and Asphodel get to wrap up their 1v1. So, should be fun. I don't know, it seems fun to me. The game's coming alive again. There was a period where it was getting kind of slow and not a lot of motivation, but hopefully it's picking up again. Everyone's got a bunch of 1v1s they can do, and yeah, I'll go ahead and see you in turn 67. Have a good one.